Hey, this is Brock from Eagle Crest Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can use cedar boards to build your old lady some shutters. I have an old old house, a bunch of shutters on there. They're all warped, torn up, don't really need them anymore. They're green, they're kind of ugly. So what we're going to do, we're going to get these cedar boards, we're going to fix them up. Easy weekend project, paint them up black, they're going to look great. Let's get started. So the first part of this project is to measure the old shutters. So what I did out there, they were 51 inches tall by 14 and a half inches wide. So I went up and I went to the store and I got 1x6s for cedar boards. So the gentleman was nice enough to cut them in half for me. They were 12 foot long. He cross cut them in half so I could fit them in my car. But what we need to do now is we need to get two side by side because it's 14 and a half inches wide. This is going to be 12, so it's a little bit narrower, which I kind of like, the skinnier look. And what we're doing is two side by side. We're going to join them with a glue and also a board going across. We're going to put some screws in there as well. It's not really needed, but it's something I like the look of it. We'll cover it up with some putty and paint it, so it's going to look nice in the end. But what we need to do now is get a sample board, cut it 51 inches long, see how it looks, make one, make sure it fits, make sure it looks right, and then we can build the rest from there. So let's get started. So we're back in the world's dustiest shop, and what I'm doing here is I already made my marks, but I want to make sure it's square. So if you have a miter saw, you can just cut it straight. But what I'm doing here is actually getting this square right here to get this lined up straight. And I actually have both my boards set up the same way, so that when I cut, they'll be exactly the same length, even if I'm a little bit off. Now, also what you want to do is make sure your boards are flush together. That's why I'm making sure they're both good here the whole way down. Jump in front of the camera here for a little bit. But once we do this, we want to clamp it down in a couple different spots. So I'm actually clamping it to my workbench, and then also on this other side, I'm clamping it to my table right here. My can't even think of the name of it. I don't even know. I don't know why I'm even blanking on that right now. But my table saw. Thank you. So now I got both ends. I'm clamping this other one in here on the other side. And now once both these are tight, what I'm going to do is plug in my saw, make sure my safety glasses are on. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this cut right here. Now you see I have this side, which is the board I want to keep. This side is my scrap. So when you're cutting, you want to make sure you cut on the right side here, because this is the waste side. Now I line up, make sure my blade's lined up to the outside, make sure my little pointer's lined up here. And let's get started and get this going. Now see here I have a little bit of a blowout, and what I'm just going to do here, it's only a little bit, so I'm just going to take my chisel and slowly work it. This should just give it a nice clean cut. It's not really the end of the world. Ideally it doesn't happen, but we are not building a pool table, so just a little bit of chiseling. This is soft enough, you don't even need a hammer. I like to take my time, chip away at it, and then you'll be good to go. Now it's good to measure these because even though it's a 2x6, or excuse me, 1x6, it's actually only 11 inches wide. So here to here is 5.5, and then this other board is another 5.5, so that's 11. So it's just good to do that before you cut, because we're gonna cut this other board to make sure it matches. What you can also do is measure it. So I have one end flush on the other side, and then I'm just getting my pencil, and then I'm going to mark it over here. And then what we can do is once we cut both sides, we get that nice clean mark. We'll mark both of those and we should be all set. All right, so once again, we're back in the dustiest shop, and what we're doing here is we already measured, these will be offcuts from our other piece, and we measured the 11 inches, which is what the side is, but you can double check it here. You can see we got 11 inches right there, and what we're gonna be doing is now cutting this for the cross pieces that go across. So similarly, I'm going to be clamping these in. You wanna make sure you give yourself enough room to get your saw in there, because it's going to be a little bit tough with how tight it is. People have used, what I'm going to do here is actually use a jigsaw. You can use a traditional circular saw, but I just feel like I'm better with my jigsaw, so that's what I'm going to use for right now. Got everything nice and flush. Got the other clip in here. And then what I'm doing here, making sure both are tight, and then I also just want to make sure I have room before I plug it in. Can I get everywhere I need to be, all the way across over here? Yep. Good to go. So let's plug it in and let her rip. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure you measure an equal distance from the top and the bottom, because if not, it's going to look pretty weird if you have one side that's a lot longer than the other. So what we're doing here is we're measuring 6.5 inches up from the bottom on each of these sides. So that's 6.5 over here, 6.5 over here. And then we're going to go to the other side, do the exact same thing. Make sure it's 6.5 over here, so we got to pull it back a little bit. Perfect, 6.5. And let me bring this up a little bit, 6.5 there. Great. Now, another thing we want to worry about is spacing. So you want to make sure your spacing is consistent. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking an old sander block. So it's one of these. It's a sanding circle for my orbital sander. Folding it in half and putting it right in here. So it's going to be a tight fit. It'll keep my spacing consistent no matter what goes on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some pilot holes so we don't split these boards, and then I'll put my nail in. We should be good. Now I'm going to drill 4, one in each corner as well. So now that we have our holes drilled, we are going to be using these exterior screws. They're 1 5/8 big, so the good thing is they won't actually puncture the whole way through the backside, so we should be good when it goes to putting it onto the wall. We're just going to connect the 2 boards, and then we can drill our own holes for everything else we need. So let's see how this goes. Alright, so I always recommend having a little extra wood filler, because as you can tell, the issue is that you always run out. So this is nice because you can just jam it right in there. Sometimes it dries up a little bit on top, and then you can just squeeze it in there once you get it loose and just smear it all right in. But the biggest issue is just getting it started, as you can see here. There we go. All right, now it's started. It's like a big old poop. There we go. Just smooth it right up. And the good thing is this is all water soluble usually, so like you can wipe it off with water. If not, you can always sand it as well, which makes it nice. So once we're done with this, we just give it a quick sanding and we're ready to paint. So for this, I'm just using a simple black spray paint that I got from Home Depot. And the reason why I'm doing this is that Cedar is already strong enough when it comes to water and heat resistance. So the paint I choose is not really critical to the long-lasting effect of it. Plus, spray paint is easy and accessible for everyone. So before we had those old green shutters, now we got beautiful black, sleek cedar shutters. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching.